I'm Jen.
I'm Wiley.
Welcome back to the channel. We are on day 3 of our walk-in cooler build.
Yep. Time to start putting walls up, if I can figure it out.
Yeah.
So, the panels that we got donated to us, I'm assuming probably wasn't all for the same cooler.
Because some of them are silver and some of them are kind of white, so...
So the little locking system that locks to the two panels together, some of them have 3, and then some of them have 4.
And
so they don't quite lock together perfectly. You know, you can't lock them together. So I've got to figure out a way to attach them all together. I mean, as far as right now, we may just have to buy long bolts and nuts and big washers and go all the way through the panel, through a piece of wood on the outside. But I'm also working things around in my head, seeing what I can figure out.
let's show you what we're talking about.
Yeah. So the issue we're having is these panels, some of them have 3 of these little latches built in, some of them have 4, so they don't line up correctly and they don't latch together correctly. So I've got a strap around them to pull them together tight, but now I've got to figure out how to attach something on the outside to hold them together while we get it stood up. Once we get it stood up, then we're going to do some framing around it to sturdy everything up good. But as of right now, to get them stood up, we have to figure out how to attach them together. This is a very thin piece of metal, styrofoam, and then a very thin piece of metal. There's nothing of substance to screw to. So I'm afraid I'm going to wind up having to go buy some big long bolts and nuts and go all the way through the panel to attach it to a board or something to hold it sturdy while we stand it up. We'll see what I can come up with.
This should be interesting. Wiley got one wall put together, and he was able to use the locking mechanisms to make it stay. It took some work to do. Tell us what you had to do, Wiley.
Well, this thing's been laying out in the weather for I don't know how long, so all the little locking mechanisms was all rusted, and we had to use some PB blaster and loosen them all up. I had to find, I don't know how they done this. I don't understand how they put these together, because I had to drill a hole in where the tool goes in to activate the locking mechanism. So I had to find that and drill holes where I could get to the locking mechanism.
What kind of locking mechanism did you say it had?
The kind that locks.
It turns and then pulls.
Oh, it's a cam lock.
Cam lock.
So it turns the hook out and latches it onto the next panel, and then when you turn it further, it sucks it together and pulls the seams together.
Because what happened before you got it?
Well, whenever it was all rusted up and I pulled it together, as you tighten it up, it actually moves the other panels so they're not in line with each other. So
Yeah.
once I got the cam lock broke free, it actually worked like it was supposed to. So, yeah. Now, we've got to figure out how to stand this thing up and keep it there while we build the next wall.
Got any ideas on how we're going to do that?
Best I have figured so far is to use some of our boards we have as braces going out just to hold it up.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Either that or just take it over and lean it against the wall until we get the next one built.
Yeah, that could work too. I don't know. We're going to...
Let's see what happens.
We're going to go with the flow.
Y'all's going to get to see it all happen, so we'll figure it out.
Unless I edit it out. I'm just kidding.
Somebody's going to have to get on one end, somebody on the other end, and I guess I'll get in the middle right. Ready? Yep. Now what?
Yeah, exactly. Now what?
Slide slide it that way where it'll lean up against that post block I was talking about, maybe? Golly! Alright, Mikey, I gotta set it down here for just a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Alright, we got this wall stood up. And I'm trying to figure, I've got more panels for the back side. So I'm thinking it's going to be easier to stand each piece up individually, get this corner attached, and then the next one should attach fairly easily with the locking mechanisms, and just continue the process that way instead of having to put the whole wall together on the floor, stand it up, and then attach it. I think it's going to be easier to do it all smaller pieces. I don't know. We'll figure it out one piece at a time. We're working on it now. So guys, we thought we would, save a little extra money. And of course we went to Harbor Freight and I bought a set of drill bits. So for the same price I could have bought, 6-inch drill bits or these drill bits. So I went ahead and got these. But check this out. I mean, for somebody that don't know, this would get them awful confused because it's listed as, I don't know how well y'all can see this, that's showing a 5/16 bit, a 3/8 bit, and a 7/16 bit. Do you notice the problem? It's backwards. That is actually the 5/16 bit, and that is actually the 7/16 bit. So, keep that in mind buying stuff from Harbor Freight. If somebody was wanting to drill a 5/16 hole and they just looked at this and grabbed that hole, that's going to be a little, or grabbed that bit, that's going to be a little bit too big of a hole.
Good thing Wiley knows what he's doing.
I thought that was interesting. Too bad they made it childproof.
So Wiley, explain to us why you are drilling holes in that board all the way through the panel.
So we figured out that to hold these together, so we don't actually have the real corner pieces to go together, and these latches don't mount up with those latches anyway. So the best I've figured out so far is I'm going to put this piece of wood on here, put a lag bolt or a carriage bolt through it, and get it tight. Do the same thing on this corner. So whenever I put this up here, I measured the thickness of this panel. Whenever I put the two boards are going to overlap each other. So whenever I screw them together, it's going to suck everything together tight in this joint. And these are too weak just to screw to or anything, so I'm having to put carriage bolts all the way through. So I don't know. It's the best way I could come up with to solve this issue. This may be temporary. I don't know. Depends on how it works.
Sounds like a plan to me. That is only the 4th hole he's drilled with that drill bit, and it's already shot. Don't buy drill bits from Harbor Freight.
So guys, we got them up in the air.
Hopefully they won't fall over.
We got the corner started, but somebody forgot to put the battery on the charger, so we're out of juice. So we're taking a break while the battery's charged, and I'll kind of show y'all what I have set up for temporary use, I guess, or temporary erection, whatever you want to call it. But it's just gonna have to do for now. I mean, with a little
ingenuity.
What do you call it? Spray foam and silicone. We're just gonna have to make it work. That's all there is to it. So
what happens when you're working with scrap?
Yeah, right. But yeah, we'll show you what we got going on, and then we're gonna go take a break. All right, guys. So you got the 2x6 on one side and 2x6 on the other side, and I cut them to where when I put these screws in, it's actually going to pull pressure against this one and help seal this together. Of course, the battery went dead, so it didn't pull it like it should have. But, I mean, even if we have to stop where we're at, we can still just fill this little hole right here with some silicone and the other stuff. You know what I'm talking about.
And there's...
So this is going to hold things up, and I'm not real sure if I'm going to trim this at an angle from this corner or from this height to the full height in the front, or if I'm just going to leave it like this and fill that in with a piece of panel that I'll have to cut and make fit. But it's just putting together scrap. So this is what we got so far. Okay guys, so this has been a lifesaver for us so far. These have set out in the weather, and the little mechanism in here is getting kind of rusty. So we're having to spray some in there on each one of these little latches. And so what we're doing is there's a little latch that sticks out. And the next panel has a lock that goes in here on it. And so you twist it, and it locks and pulls the two panels together. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it work by hand, but maybe. Yeah, well, it sucked it in.
You can see how it got shorter.
You can see how it got shorter. So it sucks the other panel in against this one. But they're a little rusty.
Just a little.
So we're having to work with it some, but it's working. We've got 1.5 walls up so far. So we're going to continue doing this. All right, y'all. So this is what we've got done so far. We've got the east wall done and the north wall done.
Now we're just praying that the wind doesn't pick up.
So if you whenever you're working with old stuff, everything just seems to take a whole lot longer.
And when you forget to charge the batteries and brake tools, that adds to the time it takes. So
she's always breaking my crap.
I'm just so strong.
I think she sabotages me because she likes to sit in the air conditioner, you know.
So this is what we got done today, and we actually started the walls a few days ago, but we got rained out and we just got back after it.
So we just kind of finished up stuff today. So let me show you guys what we done on the corner over here. So on this corner, and this is probably what we're going to have to do for every corner. But right now, we're just putting a carriage bolt through And I've got these boards situated to where whenever I put the screw in here, as it gets tight, it pulls this wall up against this wall. So then all we got to do is come in here and fill this gap in with some silicone or spray foam or whatever. But I don't have the corners, so this is just the way we're going to have to do it. We're going to have to make it work, and I believe that's going to work. But whenever we get this all together, I am going to put an exoskeleton around the whole thing to just kind of help everything hold together, to keep the sun off of it directly and all that good stuff. So
when these are sitting out in the sun, they get hot. Like, you can burn yourself if you hold your hand on it too long. So we definitely need something to protect it from the sun during the day.
So it's probably going to have about a 4-inch gap and then another like wood wall around it. So, you know, eventually. So that's the way it's going to work out for now. So I guess we'll continue this on the next one, guys. We'll see y'all later.